Hi, welcome to the very first recording of the Clintonville area real estate update. I'm Ryan Deeter with Key Realty, and if you follow any of my other videos, I do a real estate update for the Columbus area as a whole. But I want to do a deep dive and start doing a new series for the Clintonville area. And this is for the zip code of 43214 and 43202. Because I live and work in this area primarily, and so I want to make sure that if you live and work in this area, that you have a resource for you to understand what's going on in Clintonville. As you know, real estate is local. Even in Columbus, certain areas have different real estate markets and different real estate trends. And so understanding what's going on in your neighborhood and the area you may want to be in is important to help you make decisions with your real estate or just to keep you informed on what's really going on in your neighborhood. So what I typically do is I pull up the real estate statistics that the Columbus Board of Realtors puts out for us, and they fortunately break it down into these two zip codes where we can really dive into the numbers so you guys can have an accurate understanding of what's going on in your neighborhood. So let's get into it. All right, here is the numbers, the statistics pulled up by the Columbus Board of Realtors that they produce us for the Clintonville and Beachwald area, also known as Beachwald in the northern part of Clintonville, if you're not familiar with that. And I hope to do a video eventually of just kind of talking about the areas of of Clintonville, breaking it down for you, even when it comes to real estate and all that too. But here's the statistics as a whole. You can see here the closed sales. We have 52 homes sold this year compared to 69 last year, down about 25%. So we are seeing as a whole, this is across the country and in Columbus as a whole, we're seeing closed sales down 25%, a significant amount. And so just less homes to choose from. Demand's still up. So we're still seeing high demand, causing prices not to crash, even though homes are not selling as much and there's not as much listed, keeping home prices steady, and especially in Columbus, but keeping demand high as well, because there's not as many buyers finding homes, meaning there's still more buyers out there. You can see the average price here is 407. Compared to last year at 397. So we finally hit over 400 in the Clintonville area as the average price point. And 392, so median price point is not too far behind at 392. And this is going to be a record number for Clintonville, and because May is always the peak of the market. Here in May, you sometimes hit June, one more month after May, but typically May is the peak of the market. So this is going to be a new record high for the average price and the median price here in Clintonville, and average price per square foot. But you can see here 2% appreciation growth year over year, and 3% median price year over year growth, but 6.7, so a significant more increase in average price per square foot, meaning that there's more smaller homes selling for a higher amount. So people are compromising more and buying smaller homes. If you're familiar with Clintonville, the beach, especially North Beachwald area, has a lot of smaller homes. And so these smaller homes are selling for higher. In a market when there's a housing shortage and not as many options, people are starting to compromise. So that's something we're seeing just kind of as a trend in this area. So you're seeing that even though the average price is down, smaller homes are just selling for more money. That shows that the average price per square foot is higher than the average price, is growing faster than the average price. That's what that shows me. And then it kind of comes to the next thing we're talking about is the original price received. And now it's down, of course, but it's still at 104%. So based on list price to close price, we're seeing still well over asking on average. Now, this is not always the case, but on average, we're seeing homes go for 4% over average. And you can see here, this is the median price of new listings at 374, and obviously the median price is still 392. So there's obviously the average price that's closing is higher than the average price that's listing. And honestly, if you're a realtor, that's a wise move, in my opinion, to list a house either close to or even below the quote unquote what we think the value of the house may be, to try to get more buyers' eyes on that, to get more people involved and get more people emotionally attached to a house to make offers, and to give up other things outside of just higher price, give up other terms such as remedy request and maybe closing dates, things like that, where the sellers then can have more leverage to get what they need. So that's a nice, not nice. It's just a way that most realtors are marketing homes right now, is by listing it what it's worth on paper, knowing that the market is going to force it to go higher than list. Inventory homes is 43. So, that's not it's higher than it was last year this time, which is great. We're seeing more options, but not a ton. When you have 0.6, which means that if this month supply of inventory means that if we were to stop listing any new houses tomorrow, it would take 0.6 months. So, almost a half a month to, for all the homes to be bought up. So we're close to a month now. So we're close to 1 month if no new homes were to list this year. It would take roughly a month for those homes to all be sold and have 0 homes available, which is higher than last year. So that's a good thing for buyers. We are seeing more inventory sit a little longer. So the homes that are not selling, so you see this, even though most homes are still getting 104, there's still homes that are not selling. And there's a little bit higher homes that are just not selling as a whole. They're sitting in the market much longer. That's why the days on market are actually virtually the same, which is interesting. So still same days on market. So it's really just as, that's showing that this, competitiveness for Clintonville is still very high. And so if you're expecting to come into Clintonville and not have to compete with other buyers, most likely you're going to have to start looking for homes that have been in the market longer than 7, close to 10 days, before they've missed the mark on that first window of getting multiple offers and getting well over asking. Otherwise, you're going to be competing with multiple offers and have to make a over asking offer, as well as give up some of these other contingencies that are kind of baked into a normal transaction. So as you can see, I'm gonna scroll down, and this chart kind of shows this gray line is Clintonville, and this blue line is the entire MLS, what the normal Columbus region is doing. And the gray line is the Clintonville. And as you can see, the blue line has a little bit more, or I guess less jumps, ups and downs. That's because we have a more wide swath of homes to sell. So it's a little bit more of a trend, or more of a normal trend, where Clintonville, you may have one really nice home hit the market in an area that everybody wants to be in. Even in Clintonville, certain pockets of Clintonville are more desirable than others. And so you may have 1 or 2 homes that hit in an area like, say, Northmore, near the Park of Roses, where people can walk to the park. All of a sudden, that's going to spike the numbers versus a month that has nothing available in those areas. And, there's some people compromising, looking at areas that aren't just aren't as desirable. Now, of course, Clintonville as a whole is desirable. As you can see, it's still well above the average area of Columbus as a whole. And this last year, we really saw a lot of spikes. And so that's where it's just going to get kind of local and really hyper local, in a sense of where the homes are, and also what condition the homes are in, because we're starting to see a trend here in the market where a couple of years ago, obviously everything was selling, and you put it on the market and it would be sold. Now we're seeing homes that need a lot of work, especially cosmetically, where buyers just don't have the money set aside to buy the home with the down payment and to fix up the home themselves. So we're seeing homes that need a lot of work just not sell for quite as much, or not sell at all. And so those are the homes that are sitting in the market a little longer, and you may be able to negotiate and get into. But the homes that are fixed up, the homes that have the finishes and things like that the majority of buyers want, are flying off the shelf still for multiple offers. And so I will say we are, even Clintonville does, if you drew a line from the very beginning of 2013, the first little line there, all the way up to the very last line here in 2023, you will see a consistent up and to the right, even though it is a lot of spikes and stuff like that. And so we have obviously increased year over year rapidly. And in fact, if you want to look at last year's average price and average sales thing, I think I got to pull it up here. Yeah, so you see we were in the 12s, 13s last year. And I'm going to pull up 2020, because just to give you a perspective here, let's see if I can find 2020. I don't think I have it saved on my tabs, but I can pull it up real quick. So this is 2022. Let's see if I can pull up 2020. And again, this data is actually provided by the Columbus Board of Realtors for on their website. It's free data for anyone that wants to dive into this themselves and look at it. It's pretty fascinating and kind of good for you to know if you're just interested in the real estate market. But let's kind of see how I get there. It's actually, Clintonville is actually the very first one here. So 2020, we saw, so we only saw, average price in 305, 8%, median and 6%, average price. So it's actually pretty modest. It was last year where we saw very rapid growth in the 12% range, which is very high for any area. We just kind of give you a perspective there. Hopefully you find these numbers helpful. Let's go back to the 23 May here. So the current numbers, just kind of give you an idea of where we are. I do want to do one last thing. I want to take a snapshot of an average home. Let's say a roughly average home. So the average sale price. Let's look at that in Columbus here. So here's one that's average list price was just over that average price point at let's just say, at 440, let's round up. One of the things that kind of drives me crazy is when realtors think that, $100 is going to make me think that it's less than 440. We're going to round up in our head like everyone else does. This is on Schreier Place, just north of Henderson Road, a nice little street in Clintonville here. And you can see that the one I want to look at here is, one, it was listed at 440. There's 3 days on the market, meaning it probably hit the market on a Thursday, was sold by Sunday, in contract on Sunday. And if you scroll down, you see here, if you look close, you see that sale price is $451. So you can see they got almost $10,000 more than what what the list price was. So kind of an average home there. Of what's going on in Clintonville, a little snapshot of what's going on to kind of help you figure out what, how your strategy, if you're looking to make an offer in Clintonville, what that can do, and how you can get a home. This is the, searching the MLS, this is actually the highest priced home that sold last month. Now we did break the barrier of $1 million. Let's pull this. Let me pull my MLS up here. This is the last month, the highest price point. I want to show you one more house. I'm going to kind of off the cuff here. Let me go back. Bear with me here and go back another month. I'm going to show you. Clintonville did break the $1 million barrier just this last month, or just over a month ago. So let's see when this closed. This home on North Broadway. If you hadn't seen this, we closed for about $1.25 million. Which is kind of an anomaly here. So it was listed at pretty much 1.1 million. It was on the market for 3 days. It's like the last house, but they ended up getting $1,255,000. So almost, what is that? 150 over list price on this home. Beautiful home though, and right on North Broadway. You know, look it up. It's 1215 East North Broadway. It's got a pool in the back. Very, very large home. So 4,000 square feet. And just well maintained, beautiful home. But just kind of a real estate history in Clintonville. Finally broke the $1 million barrier, and we broke it by $255,000. Thanks again for joining. If you liked this video or found it useful, please subscribe to this page so you get an update when I make a new video. And of course, if you're looking to make a move, especially in the Clintonville area, I'd be happy to have a conversation with you to see how we can reach your goals. Thanks again. See you next time.